Good evening and welcome to City Limits, the show that provides you with information about the people, places, and events that shape the character of our community. Joining me today is an Honorable Kathleen Burkett, Councilwoman, District 2, St. Louis County Council. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
We're trying a series this actually first half of the year, interviewing all the county council people, so hopefully the viewers can get a better feel of who their council people are and what they do and so on.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
How do you, I guess I'll start out with, where is the second council district?
Well, I'm glad that you asked that because, we just had redistricting due to the census count in 2010. And after every census count, then the council districts are realigned according to population. And so this is the first time in 2012 when I ran for re-election that I ran in my new district. And basically the lines are roughly the Hazelwood Florissant city limits on the north. To the south, it is Ladue Road. Then it goes west, kind of meanders through the city of Creve-Coeur, goes all the way out to a little bit of Chesterfield. Then the Missouri River is my western boundary, and roughly Woodson Road on my eastern boundary. So I cover, I feel, a very, very diverse part of St. Louis County, from blue-collar working neighborhoods to the more affluent areas of Mid and West County.
Your area, actually, one of the questions that came up on one of the earlier interviews with another council person was that their area was mainly in unincorporated areas. You're mainly incorporated, correct?
Well, yes, most of my area is incorporated, although I have a fairly large area that kind of roughly sits between Olive Street Road going northward to the Page Avenue, and then of course when you get up into the Earth City area around Bridgeton, that's also unincorporated.
Mm-hmm. How did you happen to get involved in politics? That's always a question I always ask everybody.
Well, I don't know if the show is long enough to share that. I come from a background. My father was a farmer, state representative. My mother was the first woman ever elected alderman in the city of Overland. So I've kind of got that in my background. And of course, as a young teenager and young woman, I was active in my dad's campaigns and so on and so forth. So I kind of grew up in it.
Kind of grew into it.
Grew up, yep.
It's usually if your parents, I actually heard the governor speak yesterday, and he was talking about how his parents were in politics, and that's how he got his start. So that seemed to be one way to get it. The other way is you get into one of those boards or commissions, and suddenly you're stuck and you go into the...
That's exactly right. I kind of enjoy the way that I came into it, though, because I learned you might say, the groundwork for particularly partisan politics, with my father being a state representative. And I've enjoyed it. I really have. Not everybody that grows up in political families ends up being political, but I enjoy it.
Well, that's good. How long have you been a council person?
I got elected in a special election in 2002. So having just been elected again in 2012, this will be 10 years that I've been on the council.
Great. So you've got a wide background of council experience, and that's what's really important. A lot of people don't realize the importance of continuity, because you have to know what happened previously to be able to make judgments for what's going on now.
And that's absolutely true. Not only that, it's, we have a large county, and as I said before, it's a very diverse county, and each area of the county has different concerns, and if you can't, how do I want to say this? You need to be there a while to get your feet wet, to learn what you need to do and how to do it. It's not an overnight job.
Right, it's a lot of give and take, and
yes.
It's a lot of listening to, people think that, council people or mayors or whatever go into something with a preconceived notion. A lot of times they didn't. You listen to what they're saying.
Absolutely. And another thing that people need to understand, that you and I as elected officials, we pay our taxes too. We are citizens of the county. We have our own personal concerns and what our neighborhoods are going to be affected by. I think sometimes people think that because we're elected, we're kind of above all of that, and we're not. We live and work here too.
That's true. The other thing that I brought out in some of the other ones you might want to expound a little bit on is that there is a partnership between municipalities and St. Louis County, because a lot of the roads that even go through your community are what's called arterial roads, and those are county, maintained and whatever. Same thing with parks. A lot of municipalities on the edges, or even in some municipalities, are some parks.
Absolutely, absolutely, and you are very right about that.
Yeah. So the county maintains them and so on. And the other thing, you guys are actually like a council person in our city for the unincorporated area, and for the incorporated area, you're like another level of government, or whatever, another layer there that, the council people in the municipality can go to you and say, hey, we need to get this done, or, we need to have county do this. So, it's kind of a dual role.
That's absolutely true. And having said that, though, a lot of people sometimes think, though, that the county oversees the municipalities, and they may not be happy with something that's going on in their municipality, and they'll call us and say, why don't you make them stop that? They don't seem to understand that we really have no jurisdiction legally over a municipality, unless it's something to do possibly with roads or to do with the general health of St. Louis County.
Right. There are some things state statute-wise that you all have control over the entire county, so it doesn't matter where you live in unincorporated county or a municipality.
That is correct.
So a lot of people don't realize.
Yes, yes.
I get people calling me up saying, you need to do this on one of the counties. I'm like, well, we have to talk to the county, and most people don't really realize how supportive the county is. I mean, we'll send a letter asking something, and we get an answer back very quickly, and in 99% of the cases, it's a positive response. So,
well, and I try to, I kind of pride myself with my office and my administrative assistant, Lorraine Miller, because sometimes we are their council person, we are their mayor if they live in unincorporated St. Louis County. And we're the only people they can go to if they, have a problem in their particular neighborhood. And I like to pride myself on trying to do good constituent service. Lorraine and I both strive to do that as best we can with our constituency.
Yeah, that's the one important thing with municipal officials. You have to keep up with your constituents, and you also have to respond to their wants and needs. And if you don't, there's another person sitting there.
Goodbye.
That's just the way it works. Now you have Creve Park is in
Creve Park is in my council district, and I'm sure that you're probably aware that right now there is some talk about putting an adventure program into the park, and it's called Go Ape. And someone brought up the other night at the council meeting, one of the speakers in support of it said it's a shame that the name is Go Ape, because it does tend to sound like it's going to be something that's really going to be, wild and out of control, but that is not the case at all. It is an adventure experience for the entire family, and I really think it's going to be something that will be beneficial not only to the park itself, but to the residents and citizens of St. Louis County. I really think it's going to be a great thing.
Yeah, as I told you before we went on the air here, I'm going to try it. I'm 71 years old. I'm going to try it. And
I don't know if I'm going to be that brave or not, but I have been there. The area where the Go Ape is going to be situated is in an area of the park that was always used as a corporate picnic area. So it's not that it's it's so secluded that it's going to interfere with, a lot of people are very concerned about on the conservation side, the wildlife and the birds and so on and so forth. But this area was always heavily populated with people during the summertime in particular, with corporate picnics and stuff. So the area is not going to be used in any way that hasn't already been used, other than the fact that you'll be in the treetops instead of on the ground.
That sounds like fun. I'm a little disappointed, though, that you were talking about, the name Go Ape. I was expecting to get a T-shirt that says "I want ape" or something.
Well, I don't know, but I will say, when this first came about, I really did. I thought that name was a little off-putting. I really did. But now that I see how it's going to be set up and the care that's going into not only the park itself or this adventure, but what they're going to do to the park, what they're going to be responsible for, how they're going to be a partner with St. Louis County. And I'd like to just add to this too, when you talked about parks, this lies entirely within the city of Maryland Heights. Although it is a county park, Creve Coeur Park lies wholly within the city of Maryland Heights. So it's really more of an urban park than people, realize.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other thing is that, there is an advantage to the county in that they'll reap some funds
Absolutely.
from the, usage of it. So, it's a win-win situation.
Right,
really.
and the thought is that this will bring people in from other areas of the state, maybe even from Illinois. Apparently people who do this enjoy it, and they will go out of their way to get to do it.
We'll talk about that sometime. I'll let you know if
Okay.
I've enjoyed it or not.
Okay.
Now, as we begin to wrap up here, I ask every guest I have one question. And this is a difficult question, but it's a St. Louis question. Where did you go to high school?
I am a very, very proud graduate of Rittner High School. I also am very proud that class of 1963, will be having our 50th reunion this year. And I sit on the board of a group called Rittner Pride and Promise. And it was formed a few years ago, and the idea is to provide grants to the students and to the schools within the Rittner School District. So I am very, very proud to be an alumni of Rittner High School.
Sounds great. Well, if anybody wants to contact you, we'll put a graphic up with your contact information on, and they can.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Kathy,
you, Mayor. I enjoyed
Appreciate it. And we'll have you back real soon.
Thank you.
Please stay tuned after this short message for our next upcoming segment.